I had never been on a mission trip before, and it wasn't on my plans to ever go on one. And then I was at church one Sunday and it talked about Guatemala and the mission trip, and it just kind of stuck with me.
I've been wanting to go on one of Croix's mission trips for quite some time. Started to think about what it would look like to take our family. I was looking for ways for my kids to be able to serve outside of themselves, and going on a trip to one of our mission partners sounded like a great opportunity to be able to do that.
I was kind of in like I guess you can say a dark place at the time, dealing with tragic loss of my brother. There was a lot of just pain I was dealing with at the time, and I just felt the right thing to do was give myself to God. Felt like I had a new beginning, and like I felt like a new chapter was opening for my life.
I remember pulling up to the children's home, and you have the home on one side and the school on the other, and the sense of peace that I felt and calmness. All that fear I had leading up prior was gone.
New Life Children's Home is a children's home. And so if you know anything about a kid who's going to end up in a children's home, it's because for whatever reason, their family of origin is probably unable to take care of them. And they need a home. They need a place, because if they didn't, they would be lost. So they don't just have a home. They have a school there. They worship in a local congregation.
We went down there to put on a camp for the kids. During the first 3 days, we were prepping a lot for camp and bonding with the kids. We would go and eat dinner with the kids in their homes. We would play with them at night. And then when camp started, it was pretty much go, go, go.
We spent a lot of time playing, a lot of time doing activities, and we learned about Jesus together.
I remember leading up to the trip, when I was telling people I was going, they kept saying, "Oh, you're gonna change these kids' lives," but no one ever told me how much they were gonna change my life.
You know, one of my life verses is in Micah. It says to love justice and mercy and to walk humbly with God. You know, for myself, being able to walk out things that look like justice, look like serving others, things that look like offering mercy to people, most of the time it's gonna have an element of fear attached to it, because you're stepping out of your comfort zone. But also the last part is like, if I'm gonna walk humbly with God, I have to give him over my fears. And so most of the time it just means me giving that over to him and trusting, like if he's telling you to do something, that you can trust those parts that are unknown or a little unsure to him.
In my mind, I made a big decision, and it turned out to be probably one of the most life-changing things. And that's all because I made a decision to say yes.